guys, Jay. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, I'm a little late to the game on this one, but I did want to report on the GI Joe Haslab for 2025. The SnowCat has been announced, and I have some thoughts about this, particularly with the campaign, as I think it's a unique twist on how they're doing things, harkening a little bit further back to when they did the Sky Striker campaign, and Cobra had to swoop in and actually save the day on that one. This one seems to be really leaning into that aspect of it, and I really want to dive deep into this and see exactly what the marketers are thinking, and of course, taking a look at how the SnowCat is doing on its first week of the campaign. Without further ado, let's take a look and see exactly what's going on with the SnowCat GI Joe Classified series. Let's have a look, everybody.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. We just celebrated Canada Day here on the July 1st, and now Independence Day for the United States. Happy 4th of July. Hope everyone is having a great holiday weekend, and let's get into it with, of course, GI Joe, everybody. A few days ago, June 30th, the Haslab for the GI Joe Classified series was finally announced, and of course it was, without any surprise, the GI Joe SnowCat Combat All-Terrain Vehicle. Holy crap, everybody. This has been long awaited, and we have been anticipating this. So let's take a deep dive and see exactly what was announced by Hasbro Pulse, because this one's a doozy, everybody. Let's have a look. Heading over to Hasbro Pulse, the very first banner at the top is, of course, the SnowCat GI Joe Haslab EBSS4. Clicking on the link leads us to the actual funding page, and let's check out exactly how they're doing right now. Not too bad. It's only been a couple of days, and they've already reached 6,241 backers of a target 8,000 backer goal. That's pretty good, and on the same trajectory as many other Haslabs before it. This looks like it's going to fund, but we still have 3 additional tiers to unlock, and at $324.99, the question has to be asked. Is the SnowCat everything Joe fans have been waiting for, or is this something that should have been a Haslab or should have gone direct to retail stores? Well, let's take a look and break this down and see exactly what you'll be getting when you back the GI Joe Classified Series SnowCat with Farley Frostbite Stewart. This campaign is interesting as it's set in the perspective of Cobra. Even the descriptions are somewhat skewed as if it's a report coming directly from either Destro or possibly even Cobra Commander. It goes on to say, GI Joe has opened a new front in our ongoing conflict. We should actually do this in Cobra Commander's voice.
GI Joe has opened up a new front in our ongoing conflict. The Arctic and Antarctic. Partnering once again with Haslab, they have developed a 6-inch GI Joe Classified SnowCat vehicle with the hopes of securing 8,000 packer orders before the end of the campaign.
As I said, it's written in very much the same style as if Cobra Commander or Destro would be reading this. The details are pretty standard. Reach all 3 tiers for maximum collectible experience. This crowdfund project will run from June 30th, 2025 to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on August 14th. If successful, the project is expected to begin shipping late fall of 2026. It includes a classified series figure of Driver Farley Frostbite Stewart, a 360-degree rotating missile turret with 4 shockwave missiles and detachable blast effects, and 2 avalanche ski missiles with removable side cargo crates. Now, when you put it like that, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot to the SnowCat. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. I did want to highlight this very interesting promotional video that they prepared for the SnowCat, highlighting the fact that they, of course, showcased the original SnowCat in its inception. But, as I said earlier, it's all done from the perspective of Cobra, as if Cobra Commander is imploring everyone to not back this campaign. A little bit of reverse psychology there. And this falls in line very much with the way the Cobra Commander came in to rescue the somewhat stalled Sky Striker campaign back a number of years ago. And even back then, I said that if Cobra Commander hadn't done anything, the campaign could easily have not funded, and we would not have our Sky Strikers today. Moving down further, the campaign continues as if this is a dossier or journal. For example, if we take a look at this paragraph here, it's written in Destro's journal.
Announced by all the trumpets of the sky. Destro's journal. June 30th, 2025. Cobra Commander has tasked me with a thorough analysis of the full battlefield capabilities imbued within the latest attempt to match my manufacturing augment, the SnowCat Combat All-Terrain Vehicle, as well as the principal driver Farley Frostbite Stewart, Any project initiated by the Joe team inherently pales in comparison to my designs, but I shall endeavor to cater to his ever-changing whims.
I really do like the creativity that the Haslab team has put into this campaign, really giving it a fun twist and leaning into that idea that Cobra and GI Joe are just at each other's throats. It continues,
Come, see the North Wind's masonry. Should they manage to convince a legion of fools to provide 8,000 backer orders before midnight on August 14th, G.I. Joe and Haslab will begin manufacturing with all haste, and no doubt devoid of all quality assurance.
that is actually... Oh my god, I can't believe they said that. Maybe not the best choice, considering there have been a few complaints here and there. But for the most part, people are pretty happy with their Haslabs.
Based on my assessment, in all likelihood, their cold weather half-track should be ready for deployment in late fall of 2026.
I really enjoyed this part because it's all done in a tactical idea, very analytical in its overall premise.
Fills up the farmer's lane from wall to wall. Comparable in length to my Cobra Hiss, the SnowCat combat all-terrain vehicle measures 21.05 inches long and stands 10.85 inches tall. Their cockpit seating, however, can accommodate both driver and passenger within the chassis, wheels and treads spanning 10.44 inches wide. But Cobra has no room for idle tag-alongs like the Joes do.
Destro seems to be very analytical in this, but there seems to be a hint of jealousy going on here, I think.
Driving o'er the fields seems nowhere to alight. This half-track mobilization unit has the functioning tires and conveyor belt-like treads with working suspension to pose it plowing through blizzards and towering glaciers, trailblazing into the snowiest regions of the globe. The front tires can steer left and right, and the tracks are capable of pivoting up and down on off-road ascent and descent.
I love this. But I do like the fact that it can actually telegraph to, it looks like more of a 45 degree, really helping it to get above different types of terrain. And the lights are just absolutely epic. I love whenever action features like this are associated with these wonderful new vehicles. This is really interesting. I am very fascinated at the way they actually completed this portion of the SnowCat itself.
Enclosed in the tumultuous privacy of storm, fold-down steps on either side provide access to the cockpit, which opens with a hinged canopy or independent scissor doors on the left and right sides. The manual wiper blades keep clear lines of vision through the windshield. The telescoping control yokes can detach, granting easier passage to each of the seats. The illuminated dashboard display delivers tactical information and communications. The Joes appear to have spared no expense or luxury to the benefit of the troops' comfort, with decadent seating and center console cup holders.
I really do like the way they've actually been able to separate the windshield. That's really cool. Really allowing for additional modes of play, but at the same time, being able to get the Joes and the figures inside the vehicle has always been kind of difficult, so I really like this attention to detail right here.
And through the drifts and the snow cliffs did descend a dismal sheen. The push of a single button operates the LED sequence controlling dashboard, headlights, taillights, light bar floodlights, night pursuit fog lights, convoy lights, as well as flashing hazards. Standard settings appear to default to an ice blue hue, though time and further inspection may reveal additional options.
Looks like they might be hinting at the idea that the center console might not just be a Arctic blue, but maybe have a red or other type of light clusters. I'm guessing we'll find out in future updates, but that's really cool. And the fact that the control yoke can actually be telescoped up, so it makes it easier for you to position the figures in the vehicle, I really enjoy that.
Still treads the snow of his foes. Each SnowCat combat all-terrain vehicle is secured by backing the Haslab campaign. Also includes a classified action figure driver Farley Frostbite Stewart with premium deco, detailing, and articulation for posability. Intelligence dossier from the Baroness offers some insight into the Alaskan native. The 40 degree below zero and hazardous conditions he experienced with employment on the pipeline apparently didn't satisfy his need for challenge. Service to G.I. Joe appears to have filled that void and outfitted him with the necessary Arctic gear, goggles, weaponry, and even an insulated travel mug with removable cup lid. How wholesome.
I really am digging the idea that we're looking at the insights of the way Destro's mind works. We can see here that Frostbite comes with 2 additional swappable goggles. He's got an Arctic parka, and Like I said, he's even got a fleece on top of his shoulders, which is so much fun. He also has a regular parka. It looks more like a Canadian toque with a headset and radio. He's got a sidearm, a long rifle, and of course they did mention that he has looks like a thermos. Man, he's literally geared up for a Canadian summer. This is freaking awesome, guys. Putting on those goggles, he really does look like he's ready for action up in the Great White North. A tapering turret overtops his work. Next to the vast arsenal equipping Cobra his all-rattler innovations, the SnowCat combat-altering vehicle's weapon systems seem paltry in comparison. Granted, the missile turret rotates 360 degrees and pivots for a whole wide range of target acquisition. The launcher boasts 4 Shockwave HE-27 missile accessories with detachable blast effect to simulate the varying stages of launch. So, it's interesting that they are kind of admitting that in comparison to the other offerings that have come from Cobra, there's actually a slightly subdued amount of arsenal with the SnowCat. But we do have to remember that the SnowCat itself is not really a tank, and it's not really an airplane. So its payload would definitely be a little bit less. It is great to see that they still have retained the rotating missile launcher with the shockwave missiles, and I do love those additional blast effects which can be attached to the back to make it look like it's doing a full launch schedule. His wild work so fanciful, so savage. More intriguing and unique a design are the 2 Avalanche ski missiles, housed within the removable side cargo crate compartments that pivot open, revealing the Snope does, with accompanying blast effects. Dogbone pegs which connect the missiles are detachable from the snowboard, allowing for them to double as separate means for transportation for Joe troops via the foot peg snowboard. I always did find these ones particularly fascinating. Even as a kid, I always thought that these things were, admittedly, kind of goofy. I mean, missiles that ride on snowboards? What are we doing, guys? But it is, no matter what, a lot of fun, and does remind you that this is just a kid's toy, now scaled up for adult collectors. It's interesting that they showcase this in a X-ray style, showcasing just how it would fit inside of the box. When it's finally fully deployed, you can see how it attaches using that dog bone peg, as they mentioned. The ski itself can actually be detached from the missile, allowing for GI Joe figures to ride on this using the included peg system, and I think that's really fun, giving added play value to this overall pack out. Nor shapes of men, nor beast we can. I love these little haikus that Destro is throwing out there. Really giving him that romantic idea. Maybe he's preparing a sonnet for the Baroness. I would be remiss if I were not to recognize the modern innovation of the Classified Series updates to the classic half-track design. Remove the missile launcher and the armor plate to convert the rear bay into a personal carrier, with the bench seating 4 additional troopers not included with the base offering. Though for GI Joe, this simply increases the number of inevitable casualties when facing off against my immeasurable unmatched technology. I love the overall hubris that is presented here by Destro, just absolutely dripping with irony. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Here's a full exploded view of how you can actually take the SnowCat apart. You can literally remove the rotating missile launcher, the base plate where it's actually situated on, all of the blast effects as they could be utilized on the missile launcher itself, the missiles, the side-mounted ski torpedoes. And removing all of this, you can actually get down to the bare bones of the SnowCat itself, allowing for additional transporting for GI Joe characters on the left and the right. And even then, there's actual storage compartments where you can store all of the additional Joe weaponry, really giving this a lot of utility for the overall Cat design. The rear actually does fold over, allowing for troops to file out through the back for immediate deployment. Even stripped down, this thing is freaking amazing. It cracked and growled, roared and howled. Beneath the bench seating is cargo storage to stow all the various gear. By the tailgate with handrail also drops down, acting as a loading ramp. The open rear bay grants entry to access panels revealing the twin LIL 690-liter direct injection turbo diesel engine detail, to which I acknowledge fleeting respect. The obverse sides of the access panels stow crescent and socket wrench accessories suitable for any necessary engine repair. It seems like Destro is just a little bit jealous about the additional upgrades that this particular vehicle has compared to his own arsenal. It's great seeing the attention to detail that the Joe team has put into this wonderful design we can see that it's a full 9-liter engine, twin turbo system, storing additional ratchet sets, as Destro said, for emergency repairs on the left and the right. And I really appreciate that they have stowed them away for easy access. The ice was here, the ice was there. The GI Joe team clearly anticipates the ineptitude of their own soldiers in getting lost in the wilderness and the needing to survive for extended periods of time. The driver's side features a side-out kitchenette with food preparation surfaces, additional beverage holders, and a compartment to store ice accessories to preserve their foods and supplies. As though the frozen wastes were not cold enough. I really enjoy this little addition. It really gives that sort of world building. Cups of coffee, additional stovetop cooking accessories here. Lots of things, even an ice bath, which again, as Destro has mentioned, is essential in keeping food preserved over long periods of time. But it is kind of ironic that a snow vehicle needs an ice pack, didn't you think? The frolic architecture of the snow. Additional features of note. Front armor plating that folds down to reveal a functional manual winch. Removable brush guard. Tow hitch. Numerous handles and steps for dynamic figure posing. Sticker sheet for vehicle customization, such as a frosted windshield effect. I must begrudgingly commend their attention to detail. The SnowCat itself is definitely 100% accurate to the original, and of course, been upgraded for 2025. And adding the additional sticker details really is wonderful, including this frosted windshield set. I'm wondering if these are actually removable stickers, or as in the past, they are slightly removable, but in all honesty, they cannot be removed. I'm thinking maybe the windshield versions are possibly removable, but it has been my experience that once you put on the decals on the body itself, that's pretty much a one and done. Not care he for number or portion. The transparently inferior capabilities of the SnowCat combat all-terrain vehicle base offering are such that GI Joe and Haslab must incentivize bulk purchases with unlocked tiers offering supplementary troop and accessory enhancements at the higher back order levels. To commence production, they need 8,000 backer orders to fully fund the SnowCat combat all-terrain vehicle with Farley Frostbite Stewart action figure. At 10,000 backer orders to unlock Lady J an Arctic Gear action figure. 12,000 backer orders to unlock the Bivoic battle station. And 14,000 backer orders to unlock Flint in the Arctic Gear action figure set. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the base offerings versus the actual full set if it's fully backed with all tiers unlocked. But once all the tiers are unlocked, it is quite the pack out. And of course, the unlocked tiers themselves are quite interesting. Lady J here is stunning in her Arctic gear, very much like she looked in many of the Sunbow cartoons. I love the parka, I love the overall messy hair. Her face looks really nice in this iteration of the Lady J. Moving down further, she has those gloves for Arctic wear, the full fatigues, of course, in Arctic fashion, and those Arctic style boots. Moving up further, she has that somewhat furrowed brow with her toque-covered hair and headset for communications. She comes with her signature javelin, which has several different little tricks up their sleeves. Looks like a smoke javelin, an exploding javelin, and a diamond tip javelin as well. She also has a fishing line. Again, they really are digging into this idea that they have to survive out there in the frozen tundra. So they have fishing gear with deployed fishing line as well as a regular fish line. She even has an auger to actually punch through the ice so they can actually do some fishing. Her quiver for all of her javelins, and even a cup of Joe, which says J. I love it. Lady J unlocks at 10,000 backers. She's part of the covert operations, which kind of makes no sense in the Arctic, and her status is still currently locked. 1,000 backers will unlock the Bivoic battle station, which when you think about it is little more than a wind-breaking alcove, but it does come with a number of accessories, including a shovel, an axe, a machete, which is, I think, more for defense than it is anything else. A portable heater. I think this is a shield of some sort to defend against enemy fire. I can't be certain, but it does look like that. A portable radio transmitter. A campfire set with 2 sockeye salmon, which is amazing. I love it. Really leaning into the idea that they have to survive in the tundra. It also comes with a missile launching system, along with a canteen full of water, I suppose? Or maybe coffee, and even a fold-out cot which you can use to sleep in during those long winter nights. At 12,000 backers, its current status as of today is locked. The final stretch goal is, of course, the fan favorite, Flint in his Arctic gear. Of course it would be Flint and Lady J. Why wouldn't it be? Flint looks awesome here in his Arctic wear, that full leather parka with the fuzzy collar, his signature beret, and that stoic look with that little scar. He also has winter fatigues with camo deco, which sort of doesn't make sense, but definitely aligns with Flint himself, and of course those Arctic boots and Arctic gloves. His pack out is equally as charming, having a toque on his head with the radio headset for communications, a shotgun, a full rifle, a sidearm, and again, really digging into that idea that they are surviving the wild, but comfortably at that. He has 2 hot dogs, one having a huge bite out of it, 2 skewers which are used to actually cook the hot dogs, a skillet where you can cook not only hot dogs but also scrambled eggs in the morning for breakfast. It's not just a coffee maker, it's actually an espresso single shot cup boiler. What's going on, guys? And of course his own cup of joe that says Flint. Freaking-credible. I'm really loving the idea that they are surviving the wild, but definitely having all the creature comforts of home. Flint unlocks at 14,000 backers. He's a warrant officer, and currently his status is locked. And finishing off this ballad, Destro goes on to say, "Stone by stone, built in an age. The GI Joe SnowCat all-terrain vehicle campaign speaks for itself. One can only hope that discerning consumers demonstrate their competence, looking past the fully loaded half-track with its meticulous attention to detail. See beyond its vast play and display capabilities, overlook its conversion from combat readiness to troop carrier, and ignore the unlocked tiers that not only add winter-themed versions of classic Joe team members, but expand the world of GI Joe to include 6-inch scale survival and camping gear potential for diorama displays. If my assessment proves correct, this campaign shall never reach 8,000 backers before midnight on August 14th, and all of these pointless machinations brought on by the GI Joe team will be for naught. I eagerly await their imminent failure and stand poised with my superior weaponry to bring about their utter ruin." When you really break it down in that situation, this is really a fun campaign. I'm not sure how many people actually went through the overall descriptions in the campaign, as many people just want the vehicle itself, but I thought this was a fun look at how the marketing team really has leaned into this fun idea that Cobra is trying their best to dissuade people from actually backing this project, really giving that sort of reverse psychology idea for this campaign. I love it. And with 41 days, 13 hours, and 10 minutes left to go, I think that we will definitely hit that 8,000 backer goal probably by the end of the weekend. And those 3 additional tiers, I am very confident, but by the end of the campaign, we will definitely see all 3, as I would love to be able to get my hands on an Arctic version of Lady J. The Bovak battle station is quaint, but not really sure it adds anything other than the sockeye salmon and the fire. Again, really leaning into the idea of additional world building for GI Joe. And of course, I am really stoked for Flint being unlocked at 14,000 backers. Well, guys, the SnowCat has been revealed for GI Joe in their 2025 Haslab project. It really is an incredible vehicle all in all, but I think a lot of people are going to question the base offering as it is, a little bit stripped down in my overall opinion. But when you really put all of the factors together, and if we actually reach all 3 unlockable tiers, this is definitely one hell of a campaign that they're going to run. And I really do hope that every single one of these tiers does get unlocked. As when you compare the base offering to the final pack out, it's pretty evident which one is the better value. But that seems to be a very recurring theme in multiple Haslab projects. Don't sleep on this, guys. 41 days goes by incredibly quickly, and you don't want to miss out on your opportunity to pick up the SnowCat for your very own. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there who celebrates it, and celebrating Independence Day however you can. Yo, Joe, everybody. Cobra.
The SnowCat really is capturing the imagination of everybody, especially up here in Canada, where it's the Great White North. And the whole idea of world building with this particular vehicle is just absolutely a chef's kiss. I love it. And of course, the choice to really do the reverse psychology idea with Cobra Commander and Destro's dossiers, his overall diaries, I love it. Not too sure how many people actually read the overall campaign details, but I thought that we could take a look at that and have a little bit of fun with it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts about the SnowCat being the Haslab for 2025? Are you guys as excited as I am that the SnowCat has finally been revealed and are looking to actually back this project and unlock all of the unlockable tiers, getting every single one of the new figures and the new world-building accessories? Cookouts, campouts? Man, this is a lot of fun, just in time for the 4th of July barbecue celebrations. Or are you like, what the heck is with all this world building? What the heck is with all this extra equipment which is not military based? And why are we even doing this kind of thing? And I hate cold. I'm not Canadian after all. Wink. Let me know those comments in the comment section below, guys. Happy 4th of July to everybody once again who's celebrating it. You can meet me and the Mad Hatter as well as Danny Green and many of the Flipboard team. We're heading to San Diego Comic-Con 2025 to celebrate with you and take a look at the SnowCat in person, as I'm sure they're going to have it on display. And if you guys see us there, please say hi. We don't bite unless you ask us to. And of course, we're going to be there for the Flipboard panel. It's going to be a blast, showcasing the newest offerings for the Flip-Or Champions of the Faraday line. And as well, Danny Green and myself are going to be showcasing the brand new El Dragoon project that we've been working on for such a long time now. And we want to showcase to you guys what we've been working on, and hopefully you guys will like it too. Guys, hope you're doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Good journey, everybody. Geek proud.